evening. It's time for round two of the big face-off, India versus Pakistan in the Super Fours of the Asia Cup 2022. And given the first match was an absolute thriller, expect fireworks today as well. India won a tight game by 5 wickets in the last over. Hardik Pandya, the star of the night. That was the first game these two teams had played in 10 months, so one didn't know what to expect. This round has many interesting subplots now. Bhuvneshwar Kumar versus Babar Azam, Naseem Shah versus Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli versus Mohammad Nawaz, and Hardik Pandya versus Rizwan. So a lot to look forward to. We're just a couple of minutes away from the toss. Santosh Suri, he joins us from Dubai. And we'll also hopefully get Ashar Zaidi, senior Pakistani journalist, with us. But let's get straight to Santosh sir and ask him what is it like right now at the stadium. Is it the same kind of buzz that we saw in the first game, Santosh sir?
Yeah, the buzz is a bit toned down this time after what we saw in the first match when the stadium was full 2 hours before the match. But now this time the people have just strode in, probably realizing that even if you come 1 hour late, you can still get into the stadium and get your seat. And since the stadium is open, you have to sit in hot sun. So probably the fans took a bit of their own time to come into the stadium, but ultimately it will fill up, there is no doubt. It is an India-Pakistan game, which doesn't happen very often. It's like you said, after 10 months that they played last Sunday, this is the second Sunday, and now we know the final is on the Sunday on 11th. So what will happen, we'll just see.
That's right. And there you can take a look at that. Pakistan have won the toss. They have opted to field. That is right. Pakistan have won the toss. They've opted to field. And this was something that Wasim Akram was talking about at when he was doing the pitch report, where he said that this particular pitch has a lot more carry earlier on. We saw that in the first match that Bangladesh played, in fact, against Sri Lanka. And that's why team winning the toss would want to make use of the conditions earlier on. So Pakistan have won the toss and they have opted to field first. We'll also tell you about what can be expected, who are in the playing 11 in just a moment. But what do you make of this, Santosh sir? I've just got, in fact, the team sheet. And let me take you through the team sheet and before I go to Santosh sir. Okay. So there is Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli. Then there is Suryakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Deepak Hooda. Dinesh Karthik is sitting out of this game. So that's the big one. Dinesh Karthik out. Hardik Pandya comes back for this match. Yuzvendra Chahal very much in there. Ravi Bishnoi gets an opportunity in this game. Akshar Patel is, as we were saying, he's not there in the squad. Then there is Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Avesh Khan, he is sitting out, Arshdeep Singh. That's the playing 11. So the big news for all of you, Dinesh Karthik is out and Rishabh Pant is in the squad. Deepak Hooda, he's finally got an opportunity to get this, but Hooda, Bishnoi in the playing 11. Hardik Pandya is back as well. How do you look at this? Interesting, now we talked about this. Ashwin didn't get the opportunity this time, but with Ravindra Jadeja out, Ravi Bishnoi has been brought in, Deepak Hooda has been brought in. If Ashok Malhotra would be here, he'd be very happy. For one of his players has got an opportunity today. He said that Deepak Hooda has to come in. Dinesh Karthik is sitting out of this one. Your first reaction, Santosh sir?
See, whenever we see Ashwin bowl in the net, we know that he's not going to play. This is what exactly has happened. And we journalists were just commenting here that probably he's taken 500 wickets in the net rather than in last 2 years than in the match. Poor guy, he always gets left out. Anyhow, we have got a guy in Deepak Hooda who can, bowl a couple of overs and be a very handy batsman. So that advantage is there. And focus for the ever since that Ireland century, the focus has into the 11. So hopefully he'll make his presence felt today. And people would also be very happy that a younger bowler in Bishnoi has come in. He seems to be a bit of a mystery bowler, like we have seen in this tournament. The wrist spinners have been really flourishing more than the finger spinners. So hopefully the team management thinks that the wrist spinner is the ideal way to go. So we have Yuzvendra Chahal and of course Bishnoi bowling wrist spinners, and for the spin part, finger spin part, we'll have Huda to do it. And
Okay.
of course, the heartening news is that Hardik Pandya is back in the 11 after rested in the last match against Hong Kong.
Rishabh Pant also, though he did get to play the last game because he was in place of Hardik Pandya in the last game. But this time, Rishabh Pant is playing this game and Dinesh Karthik sits out. Ravi Bishnoi gets an opportunity, and with that, Deepak Hooda gets an opportunity. And Deepak Hooda has ticked all the boxes possible this year in the way he is batted. Whatever has been asked of him, he's done that, and he's finally been given an opportunity today. The other thing being Avish Khan, we were already talking about it, and in fact, Rahul Dravid was asked at the press conference yesterday, what is the news on Avish Khan, and he said he does have fever, and our doctors are managing him. And so there was always this sense that he would not play today, and that's what we've now seen. Avish Khan is sitting out, which then means that they have, with Hardik Pandya coming back in, they've gone in with three spinners in Yuzvendra Chahal, Ravi Bishnoi, and then your batting all-rounder in Deepak Hooda. Also the conditions, I mean, we talked about this as well, Santosh sir, about how the pitches here have been slow. It hasn't been easy to score runs against the spinners earlier on or in death overs, and in that sense, this makes sense for India to go in with a specialist spinner in Ravi Bishnoi.
Absolutely, like we just discussed that we have seen in the tournament, the wrist spinners have had more say on the pitches, slower pitches, and it's difficult to get them away. That's why they have, I think, opted for Bishnoi, and hopefully, you know, the promise that he's shown over the last year or so, he'll be able to, you know, perform to the expectation of the team management and, you know, get his place cemented in the team for the World Cup that's to be played in just under a couple of months. And the good thing is that India is bowling second, so we will see that whether he'll be able to, you know, use the conditions late in the evening, at night, whether he'll be able to do his bit when the lights are on and bit of dew may be there. So it will be a challenging for the Indian bowlers to, you know, last time we know what happened in the World Cup when Pakistan won the toss and they bowled first and then they chased down, score easily. So hopefully Pakistan think that their best chance of beating India would be to chase down a target rather than to defend it. So let's see 3 hours later.
What the result will be. But yes, for all of you who are just joining us, Pakistan have won the toss in Dubai against India in the Asia Cup, and they have chosen to field first, something that was expected. Chasing has been something that teams have been wanting to do, and so Pakistan winning the toss, opting to bowl first, which now puts pressure on India's top three. How will they bat? They have been under pressure, but Pakistan winning the toss, they've opted to bat first. There's also a change. Shahnawaz Dani, we knew that he's injured, so he's been made to sit out. He's been rested, and in his place, Hasnain has come in. But the big changes for India, Deepak Hooda, he gets an opportunity. He's there with the team. He's playing, and with him there is Rishabh Pant, there is Hardik Pandya, who's come back in. Dinesh Karthik, he sits out. Arshdeep Singh is, of course, there, but Akshar Patel, some were expecting that with Ravindra Jadeja going out of this Asia Cup and unfortunately will not be available for the T20 World Cup. Some were expecting that Akshar Patel would be the like-for-like replacement, and in all probability he would get an opportunity. He was called in and, you know, added to the squad, but Akshar Patel is not playing today. In Jadeja's place, India have gone in with Ravi Bishnoi, Dinesh Karthik sits out, and Deepak Hooda has come in. So, KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, there's Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Deepak Hooda, Hardik Pandya, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Ravi Bishnoi, Arshdeep Singh, and Yuzvendra Chahal. More or less, the squad that we were talking about, Santosh sir, when we had we did a show yesterday with Santosh sir about, what are the important questions that India needed to answer before the round 2 between India and Pakistan. And one major one was between Rishabh Pant and Dinesh Karthik. So there we've been answered. We've been given this answer now, Rishabh Pant coming in. But at the press conference, when Rahul Dravid was when he was asked that question, he said that on that day they felt that that Dinesh Karthik was the first choice keeper, and this is what he'd said. On that day against Pakistan, we felt that Dinesh was the right choice. Like I said earlier, it is always going to be difficult to leave out anyone. We play Rishabh and leave DK out, and a lot of people are going to be upset with that as well. So today is that day. We can't rely on that, and honestly, we don't pay much attention to that. There is no first choice wicketkeeper in the side. We play according to the conditions, situation, opposition, and what we feel is the best 11. This is what Rahul Dravid had said at the press conference. So now today, if in the first game they felt Dinesh Karthik was the right person, today they've gone in with Rishabh Pant. Figure that out if you will. But just looking at India's playing 11 and talking about why Deepak Hooda has been given an opportunity, and those numbers are going to come up on your screen as well. These are phenomenal numbers for Deepak Hooda. This is India's playing 11, but take a look at that. Deepak Hooda, the strike rate there, 161.74. He is the one with an eye on the future for India, averaging 54, a brilliant 100 in Ireland. Bowling in 2022 hasn't really bowled much, just 5 overs, so you can't really, figure out how that would turn out for him. But he is a handy off spinner. He plays aggressive cricket, fits into India's new philosophy of aggressive cricket. And it's time to groom him for the future. And with that, I think, I get the feeling, Santosh sir, knowing that Ravindra Jadeja is out till the World Cup, after the World Cup, he is the person now that I feel India will look to play in place of Ravindra Jadeja. Wouldn't you agree?
Like we said, that ever since his century in Ireland, he has been the focus of attention. But unfortunately, the team management has always given him very limited opportunity. I think this is the right time to groom him for, like you said, for the upcoming World Cup. And the selection of Pant also has come in because the top 3 have been in iffy form. So they require a lot of firepower. In case the top 3 again fail to get going, then you have at least and Hooda, who can take this, and of course Hardik Pandya to take things forward. To the batting on top of the order, you have had to bolster it with these 4 guys. In case the top again get off to a flyer, then you have at least these 4 guys who can, take on the bowling and give India a good target to chase, which they require. I think nothing less than 170, 180 is required here for India to, put up a fight and try to restrict Pakistan.
Okay, Asher Zaidi also joins us. It's an early morning in Canada, but he's taken some time out to talk to us. He's on his way somewhere, but we decided to stop him because everything has to come to a halt when it's India versus Pakistan. Asher bhai, good morning to you. Bada match hai, and why it's got...
Yes, definitely. Yes, the match is starting at 10 a.m. Canada time morning, and sports journalists and journalists in general don't like to get out of bed early morning, but this is one of the big occasions that you have to do. Well, yes, if you talk to me about the Pakistani lineup, the only question that was hovering is who is going to come in place of Dhani. And I'm very glad that Hasnain has made it, and he is one good force to reckon with. And let's see how he presents it. Or just let me have a look at the team. Yeah, Hasnain is there. Sorry about that.
So just one change there. I think that they've also just gone in with one change, which was a forced change. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Hasnain. Achha, the one thing that's very interesting that's going by, and I'm sure you guys have talked over it, is the amount of players being injured. I mean, that's so many people, guys going out of stretcher. And yesterday, Mohammad Hafiz in a talk show was saying that all these players should take Desi Murgi ki Yakhni. I mean, 2 or 3 matches and everyone is falling apart. This is very strange. Santosh sir is over there. He can tell us how humid and how hot it is over there.
Sir, सबसे ज़्यादा पाकिस्तानी players को आ रहे हैं cramps. सबसे ज़्यादा cramps पाकिस्तानी players को आ रहे हैं.
I mean, it's happening on both sides now. Let's do the counting number and it won't be too much apart. At least we have fast bowlers getting injured. That's a good thing, we would say, right? So, at least they put in that much effort.
But can I tell you?
So, this is very baffling. I mean, people in Dubai can tell us how murky it is. I mean, we have seen players playing in Sharjah and Dubai all our lives and we never heard this kind of injuries. So, what's going on? Kisi ki puri nazar lag gayi hai, or I mean, they're partying too much. I don't know what to say. I'm not over there. But this is totally baffling and it's taking the cricket grades by surprise. That what is going on? Just 2 matches you're playing. I mean, let's look at what happened to Naseem Shah. Injuries can happen to anyone at any moment. We all know that. But then you have Dhani, then you have Naseem Shah, then you have Shaheen Shah Afridi getting injured. So is it a case of having too much workload? But I don't believe that. I mean, the kind of bench strength these players have these days. You have Sean Tate over there. You have the nutritionists. I mean, talk about any luxury in the sporting world that you can ask for, and these players are getting it. And after that, getting injured every now and then, just after a few matches, I think this is a bit injustice. I mean, a lot of money goes into their development and their upbringing, and if they cannot keep up that level of performance, this is something Pakistan Cricket Board and any cricket board should be looking in. I would say that.
But I think it's happening to everybody, isn't that? So, I mean, we saw a freak injury with Johnny Bairstow. Jasprit Bumrah is out. Harshal Patel is recuperating. Now, Ravindra Jadeja has got an injury. I feel like this is like a new normal with modern day cricketers where, you know, you just have to have a squad of 30 players or a pool of 30 players because you don't know who can get injured when. And I think it's also, I get that. But, but just coming back to today's game, there are some interesting subplots. When we were talking in the first game, Ashraf bhai, we said, you know, both teams haven't played for 10 months, don't know what to expect. But now there are some mouth-watering clashes to look forward to. Like Naseem Shah against India's top order. Hardik Pandya, the kind of shot deliveries that he bowled to Pakistan. What are the most interesting subplots that you are looking forward to?
Well, I think first thing Pakistan would have done is practice those short balls in the nets, and this is something which is really, really alarming. They should be looking into it. And I think personally, Pakistan would be applying the same thing. I mean, last match, if I think Haris Rauf is one bowler that usually disappoints me, although he comes in with a very high expectation tag. But whenever there is a crunch moment, he always somehow finds a way to, get you out. And then we have that rule of having only 4 players out in the last 5 overs. So I think Pakistan would have done their homework. They would have targeted who batsmen and who and where to get. Obviously, Virat Kohli's 4th stump, that's one thing that Pakistan always love to target. And let's see if anything else has been worked up in their sleeves. But I'm very sure they have studied Indian batsmen thorough in and out, and they have a plan for it.
Khushdil Shah ka cameo. We've got to talk about that. We didn't have a conversation after Pakistan won against Hong Kong, and I also doff my hat off to you for the way they've been bowling. We talked about this, and I remember in one of our preview shows, I said, where are your spinners who are going to get wickets? Incredible bowling from Shadab Khan, Mohammad Nawaz, and of course Naseem Shah. He really is the talk of this Asia Cup. You know, bowling's just come along so well. It's the batting and the middle order once again. How are you looking at that after that cameo from Khushdil?
Just a very small brief on that. The reason is that we have too many bowlers coming up and not quality batsmen. Is lack of 4-day cricket in Pakistan's domestic. And even if you see, probably Pakistan is the only major test playing nation that agrees to a 2-test match series. So we don't have batsmen building up that momentum. Coming back to Khushdil Shah, even if you recall the last moment, I had said that Asif Ali and Khushdil Shah, these are kind of players, they were just waiting for their chance to come. You might not have seen Khushdil Shah too much in domestic cricket. We have seen them, and we know the firepower he has. And this is a guy who has come up the ranks, who has waited patiently in the nets, in the benches for his turn. And he is not one guy who's going to let it go easily. So he got the chance in the Hong Kong match. I think it was a good tune-up. India match, I was a bit disappointed the way he got out. I think that was the heat of the moment. That was the pressure that came from Babar Azam's wicket, and that funneled down. So that's one where he couldn't stand. But in Hong Kong, he was a much relaxed, much focused guy, and you saw the firepower in his arm.
Yeah.
I hope he has that click today, and it's going to be very good for the audience over there. And that would be one big reason to get people back to the Dubai Stadium. I mean, if you have to, yeah.
No, I just feel that Pakistan's busy batting, especially busy copying India. India go off to a slow start. Pakistan also wants to get off to a slow start. Babar Azam now following Virat Kohli, saying, you know what, brothers in arm, I'm going to make sure I also don't score runs. What's going on?
Probably everyone's trying to play safe. No one's wants to be trolled on social media, so they're all playing safe.
But slow start is a worry. Slow start's a worry for Pakistan.
I don't think so. I think Meher, again, we sitting over here, we haven't seen the pitches. And let's give these players a bit credit. We sit in the newsroom. We know about journalism. They know about the game. They spend all the 8 or 10 hours in the stadium on the ground all the time. So they must have studied the conditions. They must have worked up a strategy. So let's wait for our comments till the end of the match. Let's now focus on the combination and everything. But I think, yes, this is a good strategy. The swashbuckling that you used to see in T20, go from the first ball and start your lathi charge, I think that has taken a bit step back. And teams are sort of reanalyzing their strategy. And again, the old school cricket, that first 10 overs or first 15 overs, hold wickets and go for the charge in the last 15 overs. This was actually Pakistan's strategy starting from the 92 World Cup. So I think it's the rest of the world catching it more than Pakistan going for it. But again, as I say, for me, the best India-Pakistan matches are the ones that go to the wire till the last ball.
I agree, but ये वाला जो आप बता रहे हैं ना, I disagree with you. I may be sitting here, we all may be sitting here, but we've seen the kind of start Bangladesh have got, well, what Sri Lanka have got, Afghanistan. I mean, what they were doing yesterday against Sri Lanka and Kushal Mendis, who's been giving such brilliant starts. Bangladesh's Santosh sir can come in. I mean, if you look at all the teams, it's India and Pakistan who've got the slowest starts. Wouldn't you agree, Santosh sir?
Probably, I think, rather than it's the tortoise that is going to win the tournament, probably. Seems to be the strategy that slow and steady wins the match.
Yeah.
But you said correctly that India and Pakistan are the only two teams that, have lacked flourish at the top. Probably as the tournament now has entered the business and the strategy has to be looked into by both the teams today. Probably if Rohit Sharma and company can get into the groove and can attack the bowling a bit, we may see a bit more of urgency in their run-getting ability. And of course, from the bowling side, there is no doubt that India will target, Babar Azam, who is a bit iffy right now. And if they can get into a couple of early wickets, then you can have a bit of a pressure on the Pakistan middle order. Otherwise, I think in these conditions, Pakistan are well capable of, running away with the match. So you have said correctly that it's time for these two top Asian teams who are, slated to meet in the final to really look at their top order batting and show some urgency. Could prove crucial not only today but in the week over till the until final of this Asia Cup.
The other thing being, given that Pakistan won the way they won, 155 runs against Hong Kong, just ran through Hong Kong batting lineup, 38 all out. I mean, brilliant bowling performance. But the start for Pakistan was slow. We're not going to get into that. India beat Pakistan in the first game. 2020 can be anyone's game on a given day. But given that India have beaten Pakistan in the first game, do they start as slight favourites, Santosh sir?
Absolutely. That advantage is always there, knowing that we have won the previous game and there is a bit of confidence. But then, you know, the strategy immediately changed when you lose the toss and you have to bat first. Then India have to really rethink their strategy. And, you know, if you are on target, you know that this is the target that we have to chase down. But when you are setting a total for the other team, then it becomes very difficult to judge whether 160 is going to be enough or 180 is going to be enough. Is the pitch going to, you know, play throughout 40 overs? It will be, you know, normal pitch, or there will be dew that will come in, or will it help the spinners? So there are so many factors in, you know, even in T20 cricket in 40 overs that you have to think, and you know, every 5 overs you have to change your strategy, rethink your strategy. So like you were saying that Pakistan really outplayed Hong Kong, but then you should remember it was a Sharjah pitch and not a Dubai pitch.
True.
And Hong Kong were really flummoxed by the, you know, lack of bounce on the pitch, and their players were just, you know, flummoxed and totally like a hair caught in the headlight. They were like that because the ball was not coming up, and they were trying, you know, vicious strokes like pulling, cutting, hooking, that and slow pitch where it skids, the ball skids.
Right.
So we saw in next game how Sri Lanka played straight, and they, you know, used that rather than cut out all the risky shots. So probably it was one advantage that Pakistan had. But the story on the Dubai pitch is absolutely, you know, different, and where both the teams almost have equal advantage of still 40 overs.
Just when I was going to ask Ashar Bhai where he went to drown his sorrows on the last game, he has gone off. His network's gone off, but we'll try to connect with him. All of you who are joining us now, India will be batting first, this after Pakistan won the toss and opted to field. So important that India gets off to a good, quick start, something that everybody's been talking about. India needs a good start, a brisk start. We haven't seen that in the tournament so far. The openers haven't been able to give that start. Rahul hasn't got, was out for a golden duck in the first game. Second game was too slow, 36 off some 39 deliveries. But these are the changes for the Indian team. Look at that playing 11. Hardik Pandya is back after taking a rest in the last game against Hong Kong. Deepak Hooda gets an opportunity, and I'm excited to see what he will do today. Rishabh Pant is there. Dinesh Karthik is sitting out of this one, and India have gone in with Ravi Bishnoi. Remember, Ravindra Jadeja, he's out due to an injury to his knee, and in fact, he's also out of the T20 World Cup. For Pakistan, who beat Hong Kong by the 155 runs, just one force change for them. Mohammad Hasnain, he has come in place of Shahnawaz Dahani. Otherwise, this is the same team, again with Pakistan, similar problems. Mohammad Rizwan, Fakhar Zaman and Babar Azam at the top. Babar Azam scored 10 and 9 in the 2 matches that he has played. Now, questions around his form as well, whether he will be able to get big runs here. He has been an incredible player, number one ranked player in T20 internationals and in ODIs, a phenomenal player, but hasn't been able to score runs here. Will he be able to score runs? Mohammad Rizwan got off to a very slow start, and at one point, it felt like Pakistan could have been in trouble. They were 104 after, I think, 14 overs with just 1 wicket down, and then took it to 193 for 2. We spoke about Khush Dil Shah, who made the difference. Today, what will it be? Like I have been saying, interesting subplots. that we're looking ahead to today. One being India's top order against Naseem Shah. Virat Kohli, who has struggled against spin, his strike rate comes down to 80, 85 against spin. How will he play Mohammad Nawaz? He got out to Mohammad Nawaz, and there were question marks around that shot, especially if you've seen your captain get out just a little while earlier. Why would you play that shot when you've done all the hard work? And yet Virat Kohli could not capitalize, could not give India that final push that India needed in the game that they played against Hong Kong as well. But he's been scoring runs. He's been trying to get into rhythm. It's been a slow start for Virat Kohli, but scored a much needed 50 in the last game. Then what about Rohit Sharma? The thing is, Santosh sir, because we've been talking so much about KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma, we're not realizing that there's a serious problem with Rohit Sharma. We've been talking so much about KL Rahul, sorry, and Virat Kohli, that we're not really focusing on Rohit Sharma. You look at his numbers, and those are numbers that are problematic. Just one half century in 15 matches. In IPL, he's averaging 19, striking at, I think, 120. Overall in 2022 international cricket, you can see that he's striking at 130, but hasn't really been getting big scores. I mean, you can get off to a start, and I think it also works because he's not taking too many deliveries. So you don't feel that bad that he's not really got you stuck right at the top like KL Rahul does, because he's getting off to those aggressive starts. But you need much more from your Indian captain, isn't that so?
Absolutely. Like we were discussing yesterday, Ashok Malhotra ji said that, see, we don't need cameos from Rohit. He is a player who has got 2 double centuries in ODI. He's got a couple of centuries in T20 also. So we need, big innings from him rather than 30, 40 cameos of 20 balls. He has to lead all the way. If he can bat till, say, 16, 17 overs, then you know that India are slated for a very big total. So probably, I don't know, the choice, his short selection is a problem, or his fitness is a problem, or his concentration is a problem, or there is problem due to captaincy, there is pressure on him. So all this needs to be seen, that what is his actual problem. He has to sort it out and, get his mind clear. And he has to be, probably there is one thing is certain, that he has to be judicious in his stroke selection. Because we have seen after scoring 30, 40, he plays an audacious stroke that goes up in the air, or he, skies it to the deep. So probably he has to be a bit more judicious, because he is our main batsman who gets set and bats in 18 overs. You are assured of a very, very good total. So hopefully in this match or in next 2-3 matches, he'll sort his mind out and be the Rohit Sharma that we know him in a very quick time.
That's right. So India, Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul now in the middle. Naseem Shah bowling the first over, 3 deliveries bowled. India 1 for no loss. Hopefully, as we've been saying, the openers can get some runs. KL Rahul needs some quick runs. He's been getting runs. He's had the time that they've been talking about in the middle in the last game. Can he score quickly today? That's the big question. That's it then. Ashar Zaidi has left us. I think he's already gone to watch the match, but we'll try to get hold of him. Okay, I'm being told that I should continue. So we'll just sit here and discuss the match, Santosh sir. How do you look at now for India? We've been saying that, the top order needs to get runs. Rohit Sharma now hit a 4 to deep extra cover. The start's always good. The start is always good. Rohit Sharma has just hit a 4 to deep extra cover. Yes.
See, there is no doubt that the Pakistani lineup, especially the new ball, is very raw.
Yeah.
These guys have just played a couple of matches. And, this is a very, very big match. And obviously there will be pressure on them also as bowlers to really take early wickets. Like we saw yesterday, Afghanistan were under tremendous pressure to take a quick wicket, Sri Lankan wicket. So here also, Naseem Shah and Hasnain, they are very new to the international cricket. So obviously, you can take the pressure and, perform to the highest level. So if they know that if Indian openers can attack this a bit raw type of a bowling attack, they can also crumble under pressure. So hopefully that's what is going to happen. And like you said, that I think another 4 is going to be hit or something right now. I can hear the cheers now. So,
Okay.
if you can hit you can keep this young pace attack under pressure, they may crumble, hopefully.
I hope it's a 4 and not a wicket, but that's it.
Wicket.
That's it then. I'm going to let you go to watch the game. Santosh Suri there. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Asher Zaidi will try to get hold of him right after the game. So we will be here on News 9 Live and News 9 Sports right after the game. Do join us then. Hopefully it's an Indian win. That's what we're hoping for. That's it from us. Goodbye. Thank you. Thanks for watching.